Hello, I'm Batman and welcome to another installment of IE News.
And I'm Jennifer Aniston. On today's news, Ernesto Abarth talks with Long Beach City College's Jeff Wheeler, the school's honor program, and the steps you need to access and succeed.
In sports, Noah Russell joins us with some of the latest scores in college and pro football.
All this and more on this Halloween edition
of IE News.
In our first story, Ricky Mulak reviews the new Guillermo del Toro movie, the Gothic romance, Crimson Peak.
With Goosebumps and Paranormal Activity in theaters this October, it's plain to see there's a little fun for moviegoers of all ages this Halloween season. Amongst these films is the new effort from visionary director Guillermo del Toro, Crimson Peak. Due to the terrifying marketing campaign and Del Toro's reputation for busting out masterpieces, it's easily the most buzzed about scary movie this year. Was it even scary at all? Going into this film, I was aware that this wasn't a straight-up horror film, but rather a gothic romance according to director Guillermo del Toro. And after viewing the picture, yes, everyone should be aware that this is no horror film. Although there are some terrifying scenes, the core of this movie is the romance between Tom Hiddleston and Mia Wasikowska's characters. It's a love story in the midst of a classic haunted house film like The Haunting or The Uninvited. The ghosts in this film aren't meant to terrify the audience, but rather represent the sins of the past, kind of like Shakespeare. But unlike Shakespeare, this is no timeless masterpiece. The movie doesn't offer any twists or surprises, at least any that audiences didn't see coming. So admirers of Del Toro's riveting, original storytelling might feel a little empty inside as the credits roll. However, everything else aside, you're going to want to see this film for the amazing production design, the house, the rooms, the paintings. All the visuals were all crafted by Guillermo del Toro himself. It's visually flawless. As the director put it, I don't make eye candy, I make eye steroids. So is it a horror masterpiece like it's being marketed? No, but its fantastic performances and amazing visuals are enough to call it another victory by one of the greatest and creepiest voices of the film industry. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. But don't take it from me, go see it for yourself. This has been a movie review by Ricky Mulak.
Thanks, Ricky. Up next, Ernesto Abarth talks to Honors Coordinator Jeff Wheeler to discuss different ways students can get into the honors program at LBCC.
Hi everyone, my name is Ernesto Abarth and I'm here with IE News. I have a special guest with me today. His name is Jeff Wheeler and he's an honors coordinator for the honors program, talking a little bit about what it does, how can students enroll in it, and what it's all about. So welcome, Jeff Wheeler.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is fun.
So let's, I guess, get to the most obvious question. What is the honors program?
The honors program is it's not an academic department. I'll start by talking about what it's not. But the honors program gives an opportunity for students to take special honors classes. And one of the advantages of the honors program is it gives students a leg up when they're applying to transfer. So the honors classes, we tend to offer about 15 to 20 honors classes every semester. The honors classes are offered in individual departments. Honors isn't a department. We don't offer our own classes. The English department offers honors classes, sociology, philosophy, biology. We have lots of different departments that offer things. And those honors classes are generally general education classes. So the idea of the honors program is a student takes general education classes in these honors classes, and then once they complete six of those classes, they're certified as having completed our honors program. The honors classes are a little bit smaller than a normal class. Our maximum class size for honors is 24 students. And one of the things that really characterizes the classes is that it's made up of students who are they're motivated students. Everyone there is interested in transfer. Everyone there is interested in being in class. and it really adds to the quality of the class to have sort of a concentrated group of motivated students around.
So is there sort of a peak number of students that can be admitted to the honors program?
You know what? We don't have a limit of how many students. Right now we have about 250 students who are active in the honors program who are currently taking classes, and we accept applicants every semester. So coming up November 2nd, people who want to apply for the spring semester need to submit an application. To be qualified, they need to have a 3.0 GPA or above. They need to have at least 9 units of transferable work that they've done, and they need recommendations from 2 instructors.
And why is that recommendation important? Because you would think for an honors program, all you have to be is smart. So what are you looking for in these recommendation letters?
Yeah, the recommendation letters really tell us a lot about the quality of the students. Usually a recommender will tell us that the student's somebody who's active in class. They're really motivated. They have good, interesting things to say. They're usually someone that the instructor can rely on in the class. And that's really important to us when we're looking for good honor students. You want people who are self-motivated, who are in there because they want to learn, and that sort of student is going to sort of bring up the quality of the whole class.
So not everyone who's a student is like, I want to be the best kind of student. Some students, unfortunately, are just sort of filling a seat.
Well, and we have some students who have sort of different reasons for being in college, and some people are very, very, very good students, but they have a lot of other things going on, and they don't necessarily want those classes to be any more challenging than they already are, and so it's not necessarily the perfect fit for them.
Right. And I think one of the misconceptions about the honors program is that you have to be the smartest person in the class, and you have to know all the answers and have no questions and have no troubles academically. And is that what you found to be true?
Yeah, no, not at all. In fact, I think that one of the things that we're most happy about is that our honors students really develop over the course of the time they enter the honors program. That a lot of people will be sort of picked out by a professor in another class saying, I really like the work you're doing, you're interested in things, and a lot of times they're not that confident. And
I know I wasn't. I'm like, no, I'm not worthy.
And they say, you'd be a great person in the honors program, and just getting that recommendation really helps students and think, well, maybe I can do more than I thought I could do. And then they get into an honors class, and they work with other students who, and they see like, hey, I can have a conversation with this person. I can do the work the same way. I can answer the question. I can write the paper. And so a lot of times we really like to say that we help them to become honor students. A lot of times the people who apply to the honors program, they're not honor students yet.
So there's always potential you're seeing mostly.
Yeah. Okay. That's what the honors program is doing. And again, we're not doing upper level classes in any subject. We're doing all pretty much entry level classes that are taught at the honors level, and so once you're in the program, you should be qualified for just about every class that we teach. So our feeling is everyone should be able to get into one.
So how's the best
classes.
way to describe a non-honors class versus an honors class? Like really, because you are an English professor aside from being the honors coordinator.
Yeah, and
so how do you teach a non-English honors class different from an honors English class?
The outline of record is pretty much the same for these classes. So the things that you have to do by the end of the class are pretty much the same in terms of the number of pages you write and stuff. It's pretty similar. What we tend to do in an honors class is we expect that we can move a little bit faster. And we tend to be able to go sort of a little bit deeper into whatever material it is that we're looking at. We expect that our discussions, like the class discussions, are going to be able to sort of jump more quickly, right into the sort of the meat of the matter. The regular class is going to get there, but in the honors class, we expect the students to carry it a little bit more.
Keep up
which
faster.
which doesn't actually make it easier for the instructor, because the honors students can be very challenging and ask us to do a lot, and that's fun. That's good. That's why we're there.
Right. You are professors and you do want to help.
Yeah.
So why don't people ask more questions? So we can get more into how exactly students can get into the program. So I think the best way to explain it is in 3 sets of steps. The first, there are certain steps to apply. Then there are certain steps to remain in the program.
Right.
And then there are certain steps to actually get the honor certification, and
Right.
you get the honors, sort of stamp of approval
Right.
and all that. So as you were explaining, to apply into the program, there's 2 different ways. You could be a high school student moving into Long Beach Community College, and
Right.
you need certain qualifications for that. But I think it'd be most beneficial to just focus on current students
Right.
already wanting to join the honors program. And as you explained, you need at least a 3.0.
3.0.
You need at least to prove you completed 9 transferable
and
college
transferable
units.
Yeah, and then the 2 letters of recommendation.
And the 2 letters of recommendation.
And one thing that happens, one confusion, like there's some students right now who are taking 10, 12 units, and this is their first semester of college, and they want to know, can I still apply? Yes, apply. And we're not going to know what your GPA is until sort of after the application deadline is up, but still apply. We can look at your application, and as soon as the grades are up, we can check on that.
And then part 2, once you're already in the program, there's 11 different steps that you can sort of have to fulfill to be in the program. But I think the 2 most important is take at least 1 honors course every semester,
Right.
and within 3 years of entering the program, complete 18 words of unit.
Correct.
So is that basically-
Those 18 units of honors classes. As soon as you have that, then you have completed the program. And one of the reasons that we have that requirement that you need to enroll in an honors course every semester is part of what's nice about honors is there's a community. It's a relatively small group of people. As you move from honors class to honors class, you start being in classes with the same people, and you find people you can ask questions to, you engage in discussions with. Once you start applying to transfer and stuff like that, you're all doing things together, and that's an important part of the program.
Right, because you do move on with sort of a group of friends because you're all sort of moving through those honors classes together.
Right.
And then once you do all of that, you get your honor certification. And how exactly does that show? Is there does it say on the transcripts he's honor certified, or how exactly does one know
it will
your
show
honors?
it will show on the transcript that you're honor certified. It takes a little bit of time for that to happen, so a lot of times people apply and they have a lot of H's next to the classes that they've taken, and that shows you're taking an honors course, and everyone knows what that means, all the transfer institutions. But then yes, it will show up on the transcript that you're honor certified.
I think that covers it really well. But if anyone has any questions, what's the best way to contact you?
The best way is to, I'd say come in in person to the honors program. We're in the very, very back of the library on the LIC campus. L162 is the room there, but we have a lot of information up on our website. It's the lbcc.edu website, and then a /honors, and you can get to most of this honors information, including the applications and the recommendation letters and all that stuff.
Cool. Well, again, I've been in the program. I've known you for a couple of years now,
Yes.
and I have found the program to be extremely beneficial.
You're one of our star students.
Oh, well, thank you. Hopefully everyone watching us finds this conversation to be incredibly helpful to them, maybe also interested in joining the program. Again, I have found it extremely beneficial to me and sort of my thinking, even though, again, I didn't think of myself worthy to be in the program. Again, my name is Ernesto Abarth with our special guest, Jeff Wheeler. And if you have any more questions, you know how to contact him. And keep it here on iNews to learn more about LBCC and everyone in the student and community helping out. Thanks.
Thanks, Ernesto, for that informative conversation. Next, Noah Russell with Sports and Scores.
The LBCC Vikings football team won their 7th game in a row this season with a score of 58-40 against Chaffey College. The offense totaled a season best of 536 yards and rolled out a 52-40 SCFA National Central League win. This is the first time since 1988 that the Vikings have gone 7-0 and remain on top of the NCL standings. LBCC ran 309 yards thanks to Johnson's incredible effort. Johnson ran touchdowns for 8 and 2 yards. He had an impressive 91-yard run for the Vikings' second drive of the third quarter. The Vikings sparked a 17-0 run and closed a 28-26 halftime lead into 45-26 blowout in the fourth quarter. Notre Dame made a fabulous victory against USC with a heaping score of 41-31. With 11 minutes in the first quarter, Will Fuller made a 75-yard touchdown, which tied the game 7-7. And to sum it up, Justin Yoon made an amazing 32-yard field goal, which won the game. The 49ers snuck in a great win against the Ravens with a score of 20-25. In the second quarter, wide receiver Torrey Smith made a 76-yard touchdown, which gave the Niners 13 points. Then, in 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, quarterback Colin Kaepernick passed to Quentin Patton and made a 21-yard touchdown, which gave the 49ers their winning score. Until next time, I'm Noah Russell with your IE News Sports.
Thanks, Noah. The over-under on that LBCC game didn't come close to matching one of my residual checks from friends. Don Williams up next with Long Beach Public Information Officer Jake Heflin on the steps you can take to make yourself and your family safe in case of an emergency.
The words Semper Paratus in Latin translates to always ready. That term is also embossed on the badges of each of our officers in the Long Beach Fire Department. And today with me, I have Officer Jake Heflin. And Jake, I'd like to say you're a fireman, but wow, you have a list that goes on forever. Can you give us a brief rundown on some of the other things that you do for the Long Beach Fire Department?
Certainly. Well, first of all, it's a privilege to be here and happy to be talking to the folks here at Long Beach City College. Certainly, they're a big partner for the fire department as we put on events throughout the community. And certainly, we have a very active Future Firefighters program here at Long Beach City College. And we're really excited about what that looks like and those individuals that are in that program and the potential careers that they may choose to go forth with and may eventually end up working for the Long Beach Fire Department. So there is a nexus there and certainly a relationship that's very, very valued on behalf of the Long Beach Fire Department. But really, as it relates to my job is with the Community Services Division under the Fire Prevention Bureau. And really what I do is go out to the community and talk to the community about what the Long Beach Fire Department does, the services that we deliver, and also I work as a public information officer dealing as a primary point of contact for media on significant incidents or events that might interest the community or the public.
Now, I know that you are very much involved with putting on different activities within the Long Beach area. Recently, we just had the Great Shakeout, and then before that, you had a preparedness event right over there in the park right across the street from us. What was that like? What was that about?
Well, it was our second annual event. It was called Ready Long Beach, and it was a community-wide preparedness expo that was really designed to bring out to the community the importance of not only individual preparedness, but family preparedness, as well as taking care of yourself, your family, and your neighbors. We know that disasters know no boundaries, and it doesn't matter who you are or how much money you have or what religion you are. They're the great equalizer, right? And they impact everybody. And really what we wanted to do is we wanted to bring this information out to the community so members of the community could see what it is that they need to do to make themselves more prepared for that inevitable incident. And we know that history repeats itself. In 1933, Long Beach suffered a devastating earthquake, and it was actually referred to as a Long Beach earthquake. And it was an event that shows that we are prone and susceptible to these types of events. Obviously, we sit on the Newport Inglewood Fault. Everyone's worried about the San Andreas Fault, but certainly we have faults all over this area. And there are hundreds of miles of pipeline that run through Long Beach. Long Beach was a gas and oil town. And Signal Hill is called Signal Hill, and it was full of oil derricks in the turn of the century. So we realize that these types of hazards bring with them inherent risks. And we want to be prepared as a community to make sure that we're ready at all times.
Briefly, just if I had to make up an emergency kit for such an emergency, what should I be prepared for? What do I need if I were going to put a quick kit together?
Well, the Red Cross has a fantastic program called 21 Weeks to Prepare, and it really gives you a list. And please go to their website at redcross.org, take a look at that, or even search it on like your search engine for 21 Weeks to Prepare. It gives you a real good snapshot on every week. If you put aside these types of items, by the end of 21 weeks, you're going to have a good kit. And it really helps support people that may not have the funds to go say, I can't pay, I can't spend that much money. But if you just give up your cup of coffee maybe that day and you go out and buy some of those canned foods, those are the types of things that we want you to make sure that you put in that kit. 1 gallon of water per person per day minimum. And that FEMA says you should have at least enough water to last yourself for at least 3 days, if not 7 to 10 days. So again, we're talking for a family of 4, that's 4 gallons of water for a family of 4 per day. And so you can see very quickly that that amount of water starts to build up to where you may not have those reserves in storage, and you need to make sure you have a plan for that. Whether or not you have bills in small increments, for instance, and I say that from a dollar perspective. In a disaster, those ATMs are going to be down. So when you need to go purchase goods or purchase water, if you don't have the small bill increments, that water is going to cost you 20 bucks. So it's important that you realize that when we're dealing with these types of situations, that really you need to take those steps now to be proactive and not necessarily reactive. Make sure you have an out-of-state contact, because in an area that's impacted by disaster, everyone's going to be trying to call each other. And those cell towers are going to be overwhelmed. So if you get that one phone call or if you get that one text message out, right? And text message is typically the last thing that goes during a disaster, because the way that text messages send is they try to find that opening and then they'll go through. So it'll be waiting and waiting and waiting and then it goes through. But if you were to call your cell and you were to hit that tower and that tower's overwhelmed, it drops your call. So if you're going to send one message out to somebody, have your out-of-state contact be the person that receives that so they can let everybody know with that one phone call that everyone's safe.
That makes sense.
So it's these things that we can do now that really support our family preparedness and really the safety and well-being of each and every one of us.
Now, as a first responder, oftentimes you guys are the first roll-up to be able to assist. And that also has a toll involved. Every time you go out, there is always the potential for something not good to occur. From what I understand, just recently, you've had some losses, and one in particular, a captain in your division?
Yeah, unfortunately, just within the last week, the Long Beach Fire Department has laid to rest one of our active duty firefighters. His name is Captain Ryan Thornton. He was an 18-year veteran of the Long Beach Fire Department and certainly a pillar in our community, and has been was just a mentor to so many youth through a program called we had Rescue Youth or the Rocket Academy. And it's difficult to really grasp the magnitude of a loss. Not only does he leave a family behind with a son and a daughter, but he also leaves his fire family behind. Because he was somebody that was well respected and somebody that was always good for a laugh and somebody that was always friendly and really outgoing. But we realized that as firefighters, those things where those disasters, those events where you see a firefighter falling through a roof or going into a structure fire and getting killed at a fire, those are the ones that are more visible. But it's the silent killers. It's the presumptive issues where the heart issues or the carcinogens that we're exposed to. Those are the silent killers that kill firefighters as well. And we're seeing that on a wide scale, even for instance with the World Trade Center. All those people that were down there on the pile, they weren't necessarily the individuals that were killed in the actual collapse or one of the 343 firefighters that were killed that day. But the firefighters that were down there digging out and looking for their brothers, right? They're dying of cancer at unprecedented rates. So we realized that those are inherent risks associated with the job. And in the case of, unfortunately, Captain Thornton's death, those are some of the challenges that we're left to pick up the pieces and try to identify as whether or not that active duty death could be in alignment with the presumptive laws associated with protecting firefighters. That's
Really a sad situation. But you understand this right when you go in, and you're a selfless organization. You do what is needed to be done no matter what the situation is. And personally, I thank you for the service that you perform for our community and for the peace of mind just knowing that you're out there, that you bring in the job that you do. Now, you mentioned the Rocket program. What is that about?
Well, the Rocket Academy is a program that was worked in partnership with the district attorneys, actually the city prosecutor's office here in Long Beach, And really what it's designed to is for those at-risk youth to go and identify those firefighters that can serve as mentors, to just give them that coaching or that support to really kind of put them in the right direction. And I think so often we're in a society where everyone's so busy and we lose track of what we need to do to help support and develop our youth. And the Rocket Academy was named after Fire Engineer Darren Rocket, who was a firefighter, and Captain Thornton's one of his best friends, as a matter of fact. But both Ryan Thornton and Darren Rocket were passionate about the youth of our city. And they were dedicated to promoting and mentoring those children and those youth. And as a matter of fact, 3 of those kids that Captain Thornton mentored actually carried his helmet, his boots, and his turnout coat into the service. So we know that that makes a significant impact on those kids, and the Rocket Academy is that legacy that not only Darren Rocket, but also Ryan Thornton leave back to the fire department and the city of Long Beach.
Now, I understand if you can get one out of a whole group to change their particular form of behavior to the positive, then you're ahead of the game. And you have 3, it sounds like, that are very deeply involved. Well, Officer Heflin, I thank you for coming out here, and we look forward to you coming back as well. I'm Don Williams from the IE News, LBCC, and we're here with Officer Heflin, and we'll be having more conversations in the future. In the meantime, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What? Alfred? The Joker? No, he's not. I gotta go take care of something. We'll come back to you after these messages.
Welcome to the Radio and Television Department at Long Beach City College. Here you will learn to make anything that ends up on your television or radio. Working in the studio is like some kind of cool video game. You man your controls while coordinating over headphones, watching the screens carefully. Then when the target is in the right spot, you push the red button. Only instead of zombies, it's celebrities. Whether you like playing single player or multiplayer using a PC or console, or you just think all this stuff looks cool, then check us out at LBCC.
What's up, everyone? I'm Sean Swirsky, but on the radio, I go by DJ Resound. I got your Billboard Top 10 hits all lined up and ready to go, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. Starting at number 10 is Fight Song by Rachel Platten. At number 9, Fetty Wap with his hit, Trap Queen. At number 8 is Locked Away by R City featuring Adam Levine. Lucky number 7, once again Fetty Wap, featuring Remy Boyce with his track 679. At number 6, we have the beautiful and talented Selena Gomez featuring A$AP Rocky with her hit track Good For You. At the halfway point is Lean On by Major Lazer and DJ Snake featuring M.O. Number 4, we have The Hills by The Weeknd. At number 3 is the extremely catchy and fun to dance to Wash Me by Silento. Taking the number 2 position by storm is Cheerleader by OMI. And last but not least, in our top spot at number 1 is once again The Weeknd with his track Can't Feel My Face. Check me out on The Vault on klbc.org Mondays from 2 to 4. Also check out our sister station kcty.org and check out our Ustream live webcam feed pages KLBC and KCTY www.ustream.tv. I'm DJ Resound with The Vault, and I'll catch you guys later.
Thanks, Sean. Well, that's all we have for this Halloween edition of IE News. Be sure to contact the Radio and Television Department at Long Beach City College if you'd like to become part of our team. Contact us here at 562-938-4892.
Have a safe Halloween, and we'll see you soon with our IE News Thanksgiving Spectacular. It's going to be Trypto-fantastic. I'm Batman.
And I'm Jennifer Aniston.
Thanks for watching.